Kenya is not an independent African state. Kenya is a neocolonial state, like the rest of Africa. So we are not independent. We have to accept that. So that's number one. Number two, we have to accept that the failures of the Ruto regime is not accidental and has nothing to do with anything cultural or ethnic or intellectual deficiencies of Ruto. Ruto was not supposed to succeed from the beginning because Ruto, just like Kenyatta won, and Kibaki, and Uhuru Kenyatta were basically put there by the British and the imperialists, the Americans. They put these leaders into power to serve their interests, to ensure that the Kenyan African continues to serve the metropole, the previous headquarters of the colonial administrations, the British administrations, the French administrations, the German administrations, the American administrations, so that our raw resources go towards basically to serve the interests of the West. Most of our raw resources do not help us when we sell them, whether it is gold, whether it is iron, whether it is diamond, whether it is oil. That is why Nigeria and Nigerians are completely as poor as we are Kenyans, even though they have a lot of oil. That is why South Africa, which has the largest deposits of raw and rare earth, I would say precious metals, and Congo remain some of the most impoverished because these resources are not helping us. That is why no matter how talented each one of us is individually, will not result into significant substantive change for the benefit of the majority of our people. Because all these talents, all these skills, at the end of it, go towards serving the interests of the West, the Western capital, and the capitalistic systems. So that's number one. Number two, in order to continue that process, in order to continue that exploitative process, that dominating process by the West over us, over our resources, they have to impose tyrants, they have to impose dictators, they have to impose despots that will not allow us to have the freedoms that we sing about, but we've never really experienced. It is deliberate because they know that if we have space to be able to organize, to be able to think, to be able to express ourselves, to be able to interrogate the systems that they imposed on us, we will be able to transform those systems, but they don't want us to. I have been completely disappointed by our chattering classes who are praising capitalism, who are praising the West, the Western systems, and who think that, and they've been attacking China, attacking Russia, and I've been reminding them, look, China never colonized an African state or an African society. Russia never did. Cuba never did. The only thing they have done is to train our freedom fighters, to equip them, and at times to die with us during our freedom struggles. So when Ruto is looting our resources, when Ruto is using the police to kill, he's not doing something unique. He's doing what Uhuru did. He's doing what Kibaki did. is doing what Kenyatta did. To see Ruto in isolation is to miss the point. And when you look at Ruto, you have to understand that there are people lining up to continue doing exactly what Ruto is doing. So it would not be, it should not surprise anyone that a lot of the people lining up to replace Ruto, for example, I'll give one example. For example, Matiang'i, is not different than Ruto. In fact, could be worse than Ruto. And anybody who says we need anybody to replace Ruto as long as we replace Ruto is either too naive to be liberated or too stupid to be helped. Because at the end of the day, if you are saying that it is just Ruto you want to replace, Ruto the individual, and the system remains intact, then you are not fighting for liberation. You may be fighting for something else, but it is not liberation. And so it is important to interrogate people that espouse to be fighting for change, but have not disclosed what their ideology is, what their philosophy is, what their political and economic, the system they want to use to liberate the people is. For example, we have been singing one term, and I'm one of those people who have been singing it too. But some of these people who are singing one term have not told us what it is that they are going to come up with to transform the existing system for the benefit of the people. You see, if you don't do that, then there is nothing you are doing except that you are engaged in fadism. You are trying to excite people and repeat words or slogans so that you can bewitch the people who are very easy to be bewitched, so that they can sing and impose you. I say impose you because when you have a leader selected or elected or imposed as a leader over the people, and yet his philosophy has not been interrogated or his ideology, then you have exactly what we have now. You have a group of excited people who are not thinking deeply and widely and broadly about their state, and who are ready to embrace anything, even if it is the most poisonous snake, for the moment. But in the long term, the people will be in deeper problems than they have been, because when they wake up to the reality of what has happened, it will take them another 20 years before they get to the point of being angry enough to be trying to replace the regime and the person at the head. And by that time, the person has already done a lot of damage, has disorganized the people, has brutalized them, has looted even more, has entrenched the system even worse. And so the cycle continues. I want us to break the cycle by saying it's not just Ruto that must go. The entire neocolonial capitalistic system must go. Because if it doesn't go, it will recreate itself. Let me land there for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you.